Hello everybody, this is KHALYL, your online English teacher. Welcome to your online English lessons. In today's lesson, we are going to study passive voice. We are going to learn how to change from an active sentence to a passive sentence. Let's have a look at this question together. What sport do you play? For example, Iman plays basketball. Iman is the subject of the sentence. Plays is the verb and basketball is the object. In passive voice, we give more importance to the action of the sentence and to the object rather than to the subject of the sentence. The subject is doing the action to the object. Let's have a look at the first example to understand more how do we change from active to passive. What does he do, this man? He does weightlifting every morning. So he is the subject. Does is the verb do in the simple present. And weightlifting is my object. Of course, every morning is a time expression, extra information in the sentence. So I care more in passive voice about the object of the sentence. Let's have a look. How am I going to turn from active to passive? Weightlifting is done every morning by him. Alright, so I leave the subject until the end of the sentence and I start my passive sentence with an object, with the object of the active sentence. So weightlifting is done. Of course, the verb in the active voice, alright, is conjugated in the simple present. So whenever I have the simple present, in the passive voice I should write is or are plus past participle of the verb. Remember, this is the form of the simple present in the passive voice. Let's carry on. What does this girl do? Or what is she doing? She is sweeping the ground. The girl is sweeping the ground. So the girl is the subject. Is sweeping is the action. Alright? The present continuous tense. The ground is the object. So to change this sentence to the passive, I'm going to take the object as a subject. Let's have a look. Of course, this is the present continuous tense. The ground is being swept by the girl. The ground is my object, becomes subject, alright? And is being swept is the action. Okay, so whenever I have the present continuous in the active voice, the form of the present continuous in the passive voice is being, are being, plus past participle. Of course, are if the object is plural, is if the object is singular. The ground is singular. So, is being swept. Swept is the past participle of the verb sweep. Be careful, guys. Irregular verb list must be taken by heart. The verb sweep is an irregular verb. And of course, by the girl is the doer of the action, the agent of the action, which is not really important in passive voice. What is important? The action and the object. Next example. A cock woke Ahmed up at 7 o'clock. So here, Ahmed is my object. And I have the verb wake in the simple past. So whenever I have the simple past in the active voice, in the passive, I should write was or were, depending on the object, singular or plural. So was or were plus past participle of the verb. Here I have an irregular verb again, wake. The past participle, let's have a look. Ahmed was woken up at 7 o'clock by a cock. So this by is left until the end of the sentence, alright? So you should be very careful, guys. I should start my passive sentence with the object plus the form, alright, plus the tense of the active sentence. So I have the verb wake in the simple past, woke. It becomes was woken or were woken plus past participle, right? So we have was or were plus past participle, which is was woken up or were woken up. It depends on the object, singular or plural. This is the form of the simple past in the passive voice. Next tense, Sarah has phoned me. So here the object is me, which means I. So I have been phoned by Sarah. So whenever again I have the present perfect simple in the active voice, it turns to be has, have, plus been, plus past participle. I have been phoned by Sarah. So I use have for the plural and for the first person singular, I. And I use has for he, she, and it. So I have been phoned by Sara. Sara is the subject of the sentence or the agent. As I told you in the beginning, the subject is doing the action to the object. This is how do we form the present perfect in the passive voice. Next example, I was doing an exercise yesterday night. I, the subject, was doing the past continuous and the action of the sentence, and exercise, the object. Yesterday night is just time expression, all right? Extra information. So I should take my object. The object is all the time next to or written next to the verb, all right? So if I want to turn this sentence or change the sentence to the passive, I should start with the object plus the form of the tense. Here I have the past continuous. So the past continuous form in the passive voice was, being, were, being, plus past participle. Not plus ing. Be very careful, guys. I should conjugate the verb in the past participle form because the form of the passive is to be plus past participle. This is the form of the passive. So was doing, past continuous. So an exercise was being done yesterday night by me, of course. That's extra information. Okay, so the object and exercise and the form of the past continuous in the passive voice is was being or were being plus past participle. So I add being to the continuous tense and I add been to the past, perfect, and perfect tenses in general, present or past. Next example, here I have modal verb. So whenever I have a modal verb, any modal, it should be followed by be plus past participle. So I just apply the rule of to be plus past participle, in all the tenses, or all tenses. So should is a modal verb, and parents is my object. Respect is my action, all right? My verb. So parents should be respected, should be or must be respected. So modal verb, any modal, okay, same form, plus be plus past participle. Next example, I will give John his book tomorrow. So here I should pay attention to my subject again. Here I have subject, I have will, and I have my verb, infinitive, give, and the object, John. So of course, John will be given his book tomorrow. Here I have the same form as in the previous example in modal verb. Modal verb plus be plus past participle. Will plus be plus past participle. Same thing. So John is my object, okay, and will plus be plus past participle as the future form in the passive voice. Here are the changes. How to change the verb to be in the passive. So you have simple present tense, is, am, are, plus past participle. Okay. Simple past tense, you have was or were plus past participle. Future tense, you have will, be, plus past participle. So you follow the past participle in all tenses. Present continuous, is or am or are being plus past participle. Past continuous, you have just was, were, plus being. So same for the past continuous and present continuous, you have being. Okay. And for the perfect tenses, you have been, either the present perfect or the past perfect. So it's plus been plus past participle. For the present perfect, you have has and you have. Okay. Has for singular and have for plural. Plus been plus, of course, the past participle here. Modal verb can, should, must, as I told you, followed by be plus past participle. as you saw in the examples. Of course, guys, practice makes it perfect. Please practice more and more. The more you practice, the more you become perfect in any lesson or example. How to change from active to passive, or how to conjugate the verb in the passive voice. It is done for you here. Present simple, past simple, present perfect, future simple, and simple verbs. So at the end of this video, you are going to find an exercise, so you can do it. And bear in mind, please, the changes I should take. The first thing I should take is, or I should write, is my object plus the action of the sentence plus the form. Good luck.